Hey everybody, it's Matt. I'm making a new Heroclix video, and this video is going to be talking about DC Rebirth, which is the newest Heroclix set. It's going to be coming out in April, the first week in April, and I'm pretty excited about it because it's the newest DC product. And you know, we only get like one DC set a year or around that, so whenever they come around I get really excited. So for this video I'm going to be talking about my top 3 favorite figures from each of the rarity brackets, commons, uncommons, rares, super rares, and chases, and just talk about why I really like them. So let's just jump into it. Sorry, Philip DeFranco, I stole your thing. So my top 3 commons, they honestly, to be perfectly honest, I had a little bit of trouble picking out 3 commons because the more I looked at the commons, the more I just had trouble trying to find ones that I was really happy with character-wise and doll-wise. So some of these are not my favorite, like I'm super excited for this character. Some are just it's a character, it's interesting, it has a keyword I might like, and the doll's decent. So the first piece I'm really excited for in the common slot is the 001 Deathstroke, the number 1 in the set. I'll say right off the bat, he's the Batman Beyond of the set. He is the common Cable of the set. He is the common piece that plays like a rare piece, which kind of keeps the set balanced, and every set needs one of him in it for sealed events and stuff to be balanced. He's 100 points. He has Indomitable. He can choose between charge and running shot, so he can be a ranged piece or a close combat piece. If he's ranged, he has running shot and psychic blast for that penetrating damage. If he's using charge, he has exploit for that penetrating damage. His first 3 clicks, 11 attack, 3 damage, is really awesome. And if he KOs a character with an attack, his trait allows him to heal 2 clicks, meaning that he might be healing up the rest of the whole game. And he has invulnerability starting out. One of the reasons why I really like him is because he has the Suicide Squad keyword, and I like the Suicide Squad. I collect some of the Suicide Squad. We had some in Joker's Wild, and they've been kind of scattered across, Harley Quinn set and here and there. So 100 point. He may be the main attacker in a Suicide Squad team. You put him with some support pieces, he may be, decent. I really like him. My second favorite common, they're not in order. My second common I'm really looking forward to, and this one I really am looking forward to, is the Cyborg. 013 Cyborg, and one reason why I'm really looking forward to him is we haven't had a Cyborg. Okay, now technically we haven't had a Cyborg in the main set since Justice League Trinity War, but somehow WizKids snuck a Cyborg into the starter set for what was it? Elseworld. Somehow Elseworlds had a Cyborg in their starter or their Fast Forces or whatever it was, even though he wasn't in the regular set. And I wasn't a huge fan of that doll. They kind of gave them all like split dolls, and some were okay, but I don't know. Well, we got a Cyborg in this set. He's a common, so you don't have to worry about trying to track him down. And he has, in my opinion, a really decent doll. He has Justice League and Teen Titans keyword, which is a huge buff for me. I'm so, yes, finally, I can play on both teams, no problem. He has, the same Titans trait. I still think Teen Titans team ability and X-Men team ability need some work. I maybe would reduce it to only taking damage on a 6 instead of a 5 or 6. I don't know. I still feel like they've tried so many years to make it, oh, it's for free if you do it now. Oh, you get +1 to your stats if you do it now. And it's still not a team ability. People are trying to, maybe if they didn't make it a 6, but kept it a 5 or 6, but said that both people didn't have to have the team ability, just the person using it, that would maybe make it better. So if you're playing Cyborg on a Justice League team, you could still use the Teen Titans team ability to heal Superman even though he doesn't have the team ability. Maybe that would be breaking the whole like usefulness of it. But when you think of like Batman team ability and all these other Superman team ability and all these things, they're useful regardless of what team you're playing them on. But the X-Men and the Teen Titans team ability are very limited because you have to play them with those other pieces. And like at the moment we have like 5 Teen Titans pieces legal, or that are any decent, or maybe just legal. So it's like it's really hard to use it, you know. Okay, on to his dial. He has Running Shot, Psychic Blast, and if he uses it to target a single opposing character, he can use Knockback. Invulnerability and ESD starting out. The ESD will be helpful for pieces like Raven and other long range Teen Titans pieces. You can even use it for Justice League. Put them next to Superman or Green Arrow or Green Lantern or something. The enhancement will be really nice. Ren Shot, Psychic Blast, Indomitable because he's part robot. Then he bounces on his sidestep with Perplex. Honestly, his 3 damages down the line can be played at 50 points or 75 points. I appreciate the lower point total because it means I can play him with more pieces. And I like to have teams with more pieces on it than less pieces. I'd rather have a 5-piece Teen Titans team than a 3-piece Teen Titans team. That's just me. So I appreciate it. I think he's playable at both starting lines, even though the sidestep is kind of weak. The enhancement and Perplex could be useful. I like him a lot. This is, in my opinion, one of the best cyborgs we've gotten, and I'm super excited he's a common. Okay, the last common, and again, there were some pieces I was like, Wonder Woman, but I mean, we've had so many Wonder Womans. Aqualad, yay, it's Aqualad. I honestly don't like his style very much at all. So the last one I went with, and I guess these are out of order actually, is the 010 Nightwing, and I know we just got Nightwing in the last DC set. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of that dial, and this one is kind of more of what I'm expecting from him. He has Batman Family and Teen Titans keyword. He has a split dial, 75 or 50. Of course, you know, I like the split dials. If they do them right, I like them because you can fit more pieces on a team. He starts out with Running Shot, End Cap. I do wish he had like double targets. You know, when you have End Cap and you have 3 damage, you're usually just going for the 3 damage. But if you have like 2 targets or maybe even 3 targets, I mean, normally if you look at Nightwing, he has one of those sticks in both hands, so you could throw both of them at 2 people and like incapacitate both people. I would have given him two targets in my opinion. But he has Running Shot, End Cap, and then he has Leadership, which is always useful. And then free choose one, Close Combat Expert, Range Combat Expert, Perplex, or Outwit. He can use the chosen power until your next turn. That's really, really nice. That's incredible. It's amazing. That means he can. If you just want a leadership, I mean, he has a leadership. If you just want to hold him back in leadership with Perplex, he can do that. If you get up close, you know, the ESD with Close Combat Expert, it's not really going to work. But, you know, ESD and sitting back and Range Combat Expert, he has 11 attack. So you could go 11 for 5 with Range Combat Expert. That's pretty decent. Dude. Honestly. And then the end of his dial, he gets Flurry with Perplex. So you could Perplex up his attack and do 2 damage. Or you could Perplex up his damage and go try for a 10 for 3. And he has, you know, decent close combat reflexes. Up close, you know, he'd still be a threat. 6 clicks of life for 75 or 4 for 50. I like it overall. So I like the Nightwing. So let's move on to uncommons. I feel like the uncommons overall were better. And a lot of these were pieces that we haven't had in a long time. So my first uncommon I want to talk about, I'm really excited for, is Jericho. I'm trying to think back. The last time we've had a Jericho with Teen Titans keyword, maybe it was when I first started playing, and like we had oh man, it was back before NECA took over the game. Justice League set, man, I can't remember the DC sets that came after Justice League. Oh gosh, I really can't remember. Arkham Asylum was near the later part of it. There was Crisis. He was in Crisis, wasn't he? Did he have the Teen Titans keyword? I can't. He might have. But I don't think I ever played him. So this one also has a split dial, 75-50. He has mind control, and when he targets a single character and hits until your next turn when that character attacks, all friendly characters can use shape change that succeeds on a 4 through 6. So that's really useful against like tentpole teams, like teams that have one main attacker and just a bunch of support pieces that can't do really much. So you mind control that main attacker, and then when that main attacker tries to go after anybody else on your team next turn, guess what? All your guys have a 50-50 chance of just saying, nope, not me. That's his big thing, is the mind control. So you can see it's 1 damage, perplex, He doesn't have toughness and willpower, and he can use invincible when he is attacked. When he attacked by a character of lower points. At 75 points, if you play him at 75 points, invincible could come up a few times, which is nifty. Him having willpower and 11 attack and perplex, that's a pretty decent start for a mind controller. With sidestep, I mean, that's pretty decent. Even at 50 points, he doesn't lose a whole lot. He loses 1 defense, 1 attack. That's still really strong. This is one of the ones I would definitely play at 50 points. Because you could just perplex up his attack and basically lose nothing. And then if you think you're going to get attacked, perplex up his defense and basically lose nothing. You still have the willpower, you still have the possible and invincible, you still have the sidestep and the mind control. The 50-point version I would probably play more than the 75-point version, in my honest opinion. But I'm just excited to get a new Jericho. I mean, gosh, the last Jericho was in Crisis? Good Lord almighty, that's a long time ago. and talking about a long time ago, hey, look, we got a Terra. I think we got Terra in the last Teen Titans set, but she had the Ravagers keyword, and I absolutely hated all the sub-themes in the last Teen Titans set. I wanted Teen Titans. I didn't want a Beast Boy with Ravagers keyword instead of Teen Titans keyword. I didn't want a Terra with Ravagers keyword instead of Teen Titans keyword. I wanted a Terra with Teen Titans keyword. I think, in my honest opinion, I may be wrong here, I think this is the only a figure with a card, Terra with Teen Titans keyword. Because the last one I have, when I first started collecting, did not have a card. It was pre-carded era. So like, this is crazy that it took this long to get a Terra with Teen Titans keyword, but she does, and she's pretty decent. I think they gave her this trader trait to kind of lower her cost. I think otherwise she would have been more expensive, because she has 6 clicks of life, which is pretty decent. She has 3 clicks of TK and Quake. TK is one of those powers. Telekinesis is one of those powers that every team really needs. And that's one of the reasons why I think Exospecs has become so useful, is because you can throw it on any piece, not any piece, but most pieces, and suddenly you have someone on a theme team that can use telekinesis if needed. And she's 50 points that can use telekinesis, and she isn't power. She's more of a close combat piece starting out, where she has the charge, and then she can empower other pieces, or she can hang back and TK other pieces up. She's not flying, so someone could carry her up after she TKs. And then the later half of her dial, she just has regular old Quake, but she has Exploit, which is nifty, but then she has Barrier. And I'm happy we have a Terra. I'm happy she has TK. I really feel like her dial is kind of struggling. Some would say struggling, some would say, hey, she has options. She can be closer ranged at either point. Okay, sure, why not? I just kind of wish she had the TK with the Barrier, and then the Quake with the she has the Quake with the Exploit, but I wish she had the Charge Quake Exploit, and then maybe the Sidestep TK Barrier. That's what I kind of feel like I would love to see on her dial. Otherwise, it's kind of mixed together. But in the Trader trait, it's like the Catwoman. It's like the Runaways dude. Basically, if she gets KO'd, she joins the opponent's team, but then you can KO her and she comes back to your team. And I think that's the end of it. I think she can only be scored one. She can only switch sides once per force. So I don't know if, I mean, it's an interesting little thing. I feel like it's more of a negative, and they used it as a way to lower her point total, which I'm totally fine with. I would not really, I would have rather her be 4 clicks long and just have sidestep, TK, barrier, or no, sidestep, TK quake, barrier, and exploit weakness. That's what I would have rather have had, in my honest opinion. 4 clicks long, make her 40 points. I would have loved to see that. Either way, I'm super excited we have a new Terra. I'm super excited she has Teen Titans keyword. So, way to go, WizKids. Thank you so much. And let's go on to the next one. Then the last uncommon I want to talk about is and I really wanted to talk about another one, but I'm going to come back to him. I'm going to lump him into the next one because it's, yeah, anyways. The last one I want to talk about is Mr. Terrific. He's a Justice Society piece. I love Justice Society, by the way. He is a Justice Society piece and the only piece in the game with the Terrifics keyword, which is kind of puzzling. Why aren't they putting the whole team? It's only 4 characters in the set. I don't know. I think it's Plastic Man and like one of the Legion of superhero people, but not really them. And then, is it Metamorpho? I think it might be Metamorpho. I would have loved to have a new Plastic Man and more Metamorpho, honestly. Okay, anyways, so he's 70 points. That's kind of expensive for 5 clicks alive. But he has willpower, and he starts out with stealth, which is nifty. Has a trait, he can generate a T-Sphere bystander. He can only have 3 on the map. Or you can place any number of his T-Spheres adjacent to him. So that reminds me of kind of like the Poison Ivy from Batman the Animated Series, where you could either move one or remove one, or you could generate one. You can't do both. You can't do both in the same turn. So what do the T-Spheres do? Well, they have flying, but they're tiny. They're tiny, so they can't carry them around, of course. If you know what a T-Sphere is, they're just little balls he throws around, and they hover around. They have sidestep. They have toughness. And then they have a trait. Opposing characters don't have to break away from them. Okay, whatever. They have a special damage power, perplex, but only to target the character that generated this bystander. So only Mr. Terrific. And only to choose a combat value that hasn't already been chosen by another. So, okay. So you're going to have, at most, 3 of these T-Spheres out. They can all use perplex, but they can only perplex one of his stats that the other one didn't. So he's starting out with 8 movement, 10 attack, 17 defense, and 2 damage. So with 3 T-Spheres out, you could perplex them up to an 11 attack for 18 defense with 3 damage. Or you could bump up his range, well, to a 1, but that wouldn't help anything. So you most likely would do attack, defense, and damage. And that's okay. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's a free action to generate them, so you can be generating them all game. Even if they get destroyed, you can just keep regenerating them. They have 0 range, but perplex gives them like a minimum range 6. So I kind of wish they could use the perplex on characters that shared a keyword with him. That would be so nice to be able to generate this little perplex spot that could go out and perplex up another JSA's person's defense or damage or attack or something. But I guess, okay, sure, they only affect him. Whatever. They're free. I mean, what can you do? I mean, he's going to be sitting in stealth. I wish he had range, though. I really do wish he had range, because if you're sitting in stealth, then you're, I don't know. He does have precision strike. When he makes a close attack, he can target a character within 6 squares that's adjacent to a T-Sphere, regardless of adjacency. Okay. That makes up for him not having any range. So basically, he can generate the T-Sphere for free. Then the T-Sphere... Oh, the T-Sphere does not have... Oh, it doesn't have that... what is it? I can't think of the word. It means its actions do not count towards your total... autonomous. It doesn't have autonomous, meaning that, okay, what I was thinking, if it had autonomous, which would have been really cool, he could have generated a T-Sphere for free. Then it would have not counted towards your overall actions for the turn. The T-Sphere could have then moved out for free, then sidestepped 2 more, and then he could have made a close attack precision strike against someone next to the T-Sphere. But sadly, it's going to be a free action to summon the T-Sphere. Then it's going to be one of your own actions for the T-Sphere to move out. And then he can then give a second action to attack through the line of fire basically of the T-sphere. But still, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, it makes up for him not having any range. It makes up for him not having any range. It means he can stay in stealth, stay back some. He can start moving up his T-spheres, you know, and then he can, then he doesn't have to get next to somebody because all he has is willpower. He has no defense. And but it's only make a close attack. So he couldn't use his outwit through the T-sphere. That would be all shades of that would be something different if he could outwit through his T-sphere. Ooh, that'd be something. But still, he can precision strike with a 10 attack, maybe an 11 attack, or 3 damage, depending on what the T-spheres do to him, against someone next to one of his T-spheres. So that's no. But he still has to be within 6 squares of him too. May target a character within 6 squares that's adjacent to his T-sphere. Okay, so he's kind of like a mid-range guy. He's not going to be able to do this from across the map, and you really don't want someone right next to him. But he can kind of do it. He could do it around the corner. He could there could be walls in the way, and he could send his T-sphere to run around the corner, and then he could attack somebody. So that's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, I'm excited for him because I think the last Mr. Terrific, and this is the Michael Holt one. That's the black dude, not the white one that we've gotten in the past. The Michael Holt Mr. Terrific, the last one we got was the pre-carded era, I believe. I'm pretty sure, because I was collecting the JSA characters from, in the past when I first started playing. So guess what? We got a version with a card now, and he has Justice Society keyword, and he's not horrible. 70 points may be a little bit much for what he can do, because once you knock him off, once you hit him for a little bit of damage, he loses the ability to attack through the T-spheres, and then he's just like, hey, I have Quake, Common Reflexes, and Prob. Please come near me so I can do something. I really feel like this is a 50-point dial. In my honest opinion, this is a 50-point dial. I don't really understand why he's 70 points. But, I'm excited to get him. He's an uncommon. Uncommons are not always the usual, most efficient pieces for their points. So I'm just excited for the character. And thank you, WizKids, for making a Mr. Terrific. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to rares. And I know this is already 22 minutes, but I'm just going to keep talking because I love to talk. Moving on to rares. Okay. Maybe my most wanted piece in the entire set. And I gotta lump it up with uncommon. It's Shazam and Billy Batson. Do we have the Shazam movie coming out soon? I want to go see that thing. I love Shazam forever. I really liked his, was it Rebirth or New 52? Maybe it was New 52 story. It's basically what the movie's based off of too. Shazam is such a cool character. Him and his family are such a cool, and I have to thank the Brock family for making Shazam, for making Billy Batson, for winning the tournaments and making them, because for so many years we've had Shazams. Yes, we've had Shazams. Yes, we've had Power Thunder or Captain Thunder or whatever, but they've always messed up on the stupid keywords. We got this amazing KC Shazam, and he doesn't have Justice League keyword. For a time, the only Shazam with the Justice League keyword was Captain Thunder, and that was like a off storyline, like not even like the main story. It wasn't the real Shazam. And then we got one as God of Thunder or whatever, as a god, and he was just like running shot pulse wave, and I was like, but that's not what I think of Shazam. I think of Shazam as punching people, So this one, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. They knocked it out of the park with Billy Batson and Shazam. They really, really did. I'm gonna look at Billy Batson first. He's an uncommon. I didn't want to put him on my list because he's tied specifically to Shazam. But for 40 points, you can pull out Shazam. And look at the keywords: Justice League, Justice League International, Justice Society. Holy cow! That's every keyword I ever would have wanted on this thing. Reporter? I could play him with Peter Parker and Clark Kent. I mean, I could have a fun reporter team, dude. Fawcett City, maybe not. Mystical keyword? Dude, all the best keywords, dude. I'm so excited, dude. I'm so freaking excited, dude, for these pieces. He has, you know, a similar, if you've noticed with some of the reporters in the past, they have this weird, you know, ability. If you're within like 4 squares, I can like affect you in some way. Like I'm writing down on my notepad what you're doing to me and all this kind of stuff. He has a similar thing. Opposing character within 4 squares cannot be given free actions. That's not bad because he has a stop click. And he gets to transform into Shazam. If the click is revealed from an opponent's attack, and you paid 40 points for Billy Batson, I think is there a cheaper point total? Wouldn't you have always paid 40 points for Billy Batson? There might be a second starting line. Maybe you could play him for 20. I don't know. I don't really know. After resolutions, replace him with the Shazam on clicks number 6, and then he can be healed above click number 6. And when KO'd, your opponent only gets 40 points. Okay, so you just want to throw him out there and be like, hey, come at me, dude. I got perplexed. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, yeah, you can't use free actions. He's like the one reporter that can actually like afford to get out there. All these other people, like Lois Lane and stuff, they're just gonna get smited and it's gonna be like, well, you kill Lois Lane. Okay, whatever. But this dude's like, hey, come at me. Come at me. Hit me into Shazam. Bam! You hit me into Shazam, and now I turn into this thing. Let me for 40 points. I think it's like the last 2 clicks of his dial. I think I'm looking on AC Realms, and they don't have it written up perfectly. I think you could get the last 2 clicks of his life, which is sidestep, pulse wave, and vulnerability, and 3 damage for 40 points. And he has when he starts the game, and I believe that still activates if you bring him in doing that thing, because that's when he is starting the game. You can choose one: outwit, opposing and probability control, pulse wave, or mind control, and he has protected that. Of course, you're going to use outwit most likely. So then they can't outwit your invulnerability. And for 40 points, you got a pulse wave piece, 3 damage, sidestep. Amazing. I feel like going forward, at that 40 points, if I'm ever playing a Justice League team or a Justice League International, does Shazam not have Justice Society? I think AC Reynolds probably messed that up and didn't put it on there, because why would Billy Batson have it why would Billy Batson have Justice Society but not Shazam? If I'm ever playing any of those teams, I'm probably going to be playing them at 40 points. I think the 40 point is so fun. It is so fun. I do wish, I kind of wish though, they would change the equip rules so that if you did replace a character, that you could transfer the equipment onto them. At the moment, it doesn't get transferred. It just gets like KO'd or something, or dropped or whatever. So I would love to equip Billy Batson with something and then have him transform the Shazam, which is already stacked for 40 points. And then I have equipment on top of that. That would be really fun, in my opinion. That would be like the mirror. Oh my lord. I'm laughing with real F's right here. You put the mirror on him and be like, hey, I'm Billy Batson, come at me. Oh, shape change, shape change, shape change, shape change. Oh, perplex, shape change, shape change. Oh, you hit me. I'm Shazam now. Shape change, shape change, shape change. Ho ho ho. Shape change, shape change. I'm evil, guys. I'm evil if you haven't noticed that. Okay. Let's go on Shazam. So again, he has that trait. Whenever he starts a game, you can either be protected outwit, protected oppose and probability control, protected pulse wave. If you're playing him at like 200 points, probably like the outwit's really good. It kind of gives him kind of quintessence at that point, because he already has Indomitable. It's like a form of quintessence. I mean, if you feel like your opponent's gonna have pulse wave, you could choose pulse wave, but then you could just be outwitted, and that's gonna like you know. But at 200 points, he has hypersonic, he has quake, and you can use it at no cost instead of a close attack when using hypersonic. So he can hypersonic out and punch you for 4, or he can hypersonic out and quake, which could be interesting. He also has Power Zeus. At the end of your turn, if Shazam has not been moved or placed this turn, give him a Zeus Might token. Modify Shazam's defense +1 for each Zeus Might token he has. When he is moved or placed, remove all the Zeus Might tokens. Okay, so those are Those are like, he wants to run out and punch somebody for 4, and he's just gonna sit there and fight. And that, in my opinion, is exactly what Shazam is. You know, he is a guy. He's not gonna be this Flash that's gonna zip in, punch you, and zip out. No, he's gonna fly in and freaking punch you, and then sit there and just keep punching you and keep punching you. And if he just stays in one place the whole time, his defense going to go 18, next turn 19, next turn 20, next turn 21. He's going to be a 21. You're going to be coming after him going, I need to hit that 21. He's going to be going, probability control. No, you're not. I really like the 200-point setting. 200 points is a lot to put into a piece, but I mean, if he can be protected outwit, that could be pretty nice. With 3 clicks of invincible. Now after that he bounces on the charge, super strength, and power, and impervious. Again, that sums him up in my mind. Honestly, I don't know how much the control the Brock family had over these dolls, but they really knocked them out of the park in my opinion. They did a really good job designing these dolls. They really did. I don't see him as a big range piece like the God of Thunder or whatever he was in the Harley Quinn set was. I see him as somebody who's gonna. He's more of a close combat Superman. You know, and honestly, I think Superman is too. I feel like the Batman animated series giving him like a once per game hypersonic is pretty true to his character. I don't really see him as being a range piece. He's more like, I'm gonna get up close and punch you. Shazam's the exact same way. They gave him the keywords, all the best keywords, so I can play him on all my favorite teams. They gave him a really fun way to come out at 40 points, or a really strong way to come out at 200 or 100 points. Honestly, there's not much more I could really want from this piece, and to have everything I really wanted, it's by far my favorite piece with Billy Batson pieces in the set. I'm so excited to get my hands on them. Thank you, Brock family, for designing pieces I would absolutely love. He's amazing. I'm really happy, and I'll probably put some kind of equipment on him or something, maybe like, I don't know, something down the line. I love the new equipment. I really do. I just wish they weren't so hard to get on chases and stuff. But Shazam. I think I've talked for 10 minutes just on Shazam. Let's move on. Okay, so the next one, I'm excited. Now I wanted to. I'll just briefly mention Beast Boy. I wanted to talk about Beast Boy. I'm excited for Beast Boy. I think they did pretty good with Beast Boy. The next one I want to talk about is Raven. Now the last Raven we got, and there is some Ravens in the Wonder Woman set, the gravity feed that nobody bought, and like the cheaper Raven can carry multiple characters, and that was the one that I was really hoping to play. But the problem was all the Teen Titans characters were super old, and they just weren't good. We had like the Kid Flash or the Impulse, that was a WizKids Open prize, and the Blue Beetle Jamie Reyes, that was a monthly OP pit prize piece. I wanted to say prize and piece at the same time, so that came out weird. So we had like a few, and then we had like the pieces from Wonder Woman set, which were really not good. That gravity feed was just stinky. It was just stinky. But the Raven was decent, and then they announced, oh look, the Wonder Woman set's retiring this year, and I'm like, well, frick, you know. But we got a new Raven! Yay! And guess what? Before the Wonder Woman set, the last Raven was a Super Booster exclusive piece. And that made her kind of more expensive and harder to get, which sucked. Because the only Raven before that was like pre-carded era Raven. But we finally got a Raven. 65-50 points, which I think is pretty affordable. She has phasing, teleport, and stealth. Okay. Perfect, that makes sense. She has passenger 3, but only to carry characters that share a keyword with her, and she ignores their flight, the flight symbol for that. So she can carry Starfire, she can carry all the flyers. She has monster keyword and mystical, so she could be a little carrier, dude. I mean, she could carry monsters and mysticals around, but I'm gonna be using her for carrying Teen Titans around, of course. So I mean, she's great for that. You know, phasing with them, can carry 3, awesome. She also has perplex, probability control, and support, which is nuts. Starting out, okay, this is one of the dolls I was like, this is one of the times where I'm like, I don't understand why the 65 point version, the more expensive version, it has nothing that the lower point version, I think the lower point version is better, and I don't understand why I'd be paying 15 points more, because the lower point total, it has ESD instead of super senses, which in my opinion just makes her harder to hit, which is good. It has Psychic Blast instead of nothing, which is just like, what? Like, I don't think AC Rams got it wrong. I mean, someone correct me if this is how it is, but I don't think AC Rams got it wrong. I think she literally just doesn't have any attack powers for her upper point total. Like, why? With only 1 damage, what is she even doing at that point? I mean, are you paying 15 points more just to have more time to carry Perplex, Prop, and support? I don't know. I don't think I would do it. I think I'd play her at 50 points. For 50 points, Phase and Teleport, Stealth, Passenger 3, Psychic Blast, ESD, Perplex, Prop, Support. Even though she only has Perplex, Prop, Support for 1 click, with the Teen Titans team ability, you can actually heal her back onto that first click pretty easily. So, she does have the Mystics team ability too, which is always fun. Like, hey, poke me, hey, take a damage yourself, and then I'll heal back up. Thank you very much. If she does take any kind of damage, she gets Stealth, Steel Energy, Regeneration, and Outwit, which is fun. It's super fun. Like, she's gonna be hiding. I mean, what you do is you just plunk her down in Stealth, and if she gets hit, I mean, you plunk her down in Hindering. Then if she gets hit onto those last 2 clicks, then she's protected in Stealth. She can try to Steel Energy if you're up close next to her, or she might just use Regeneration, and she only needs to roll, let's see. If she rolls, I mean, really, she doesn't need to roll very high to heal back up. I really like the dial. I do kind of wish it would, maybe the 65 point version was a little bit more offensive. It would make so much sense if the 65 point dial had like 3 damage. If she had 3 damage at the 65 point, even just like 3 or 2 damage on the upper part, it would make sense, and it would add to the point of why you're paying more for the top starting point. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to be playing her at 50 points every time I play her. Still though, it's a Raven that's only a rare, meaning that it's much easier to get your hands on, and I'm excited about that. And so thank you so much for WizKids making a new Raven. It's been forever since we had one that's not in a stupid Wonder Woman gravity feed. Okay, the last rare, and I kind of had to look around. A lot of the rares I'm not totally in love with, but this rare I really like is the Aquaman. The Aquaman, so the last Aquaman was similar to Cyborg. The last Aquaman we got one in Batman the Animated Series, but amazing sculpt riding the seahorse. But all of the Super Friends in the Batman the Animated Series had horrible weaknesses to stuff. And so I don't really consider that like the last Aquaman. The last like real Aquaman we got was from like the Batman vs Superman gravity feed, and that one was decent. There was actually 2 back then. They were decent, but the last non-movie one we got was in Justice League Trinity War again, along with Cyborg. So I've been looking forward to like a new like comic book DC Aquaman that's not Super Friends, not movie based, you know. And so this one is 80 points, has Justice League keyword. You know, he's Aquaman. He can charge, super strength, invulnerability. He does have leadership, which is really useful. Leadership's one of those powers that's like, you really want to remove tokens, but it really doesn't happen that often. But the +1 to your action total is super useful. It's so useful, especially in like a 400 point setting. Have 5 actions. At a 300 point setting, you may not be paying 80 points for him just to get leadership, you know. But at a 400 point setting, you can afford to spend 20% of your budget. Is it 20? Yeah, 20% of your budget, right? 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, math. You know, he does have 3 traits. He has 3 traits. When he makes the first attack during a turn and hits, until your next turn, other friendly characters with the Justice League keyword can use Exploit Weakness. Okay, all the Justice League pieces in the set have this ability. It's I mean, it's They tried to do it I think they tried to do it with the Avengers, and it was like, if Iron Man is the first one to make an attack this turn, then he can, or Iron Man can use running shot, but only if he's the first one to make an attack this turn. It's so situational stuff. It's just not that useful in my honest opinion. He is indomitable, which is always nice. He has his second trait. If Aquaman occupies water terrain, he has free action, move up to 4 squares, and that's really nice. That means like you could charge, like if an opposing character, you could use it 2 different ways. If an opposing character was next to water, you could charge into the water and punch them, then use the free action to, I guess you'd have to break away, and then you get to move up to 4 squares away. Or you could start out in the water, move up to 4 squares, and then use charge for 5, 9 halved up, and then 9 halved is 4.5, and then rounded up is 5. So you could move 4, then charge 5, and basically have like a full movement charge at that point if you're starting out in water. And he doesn't have to be in water the entire time. He can start out in water, move the 4 squares, and then even if he's not in water at that point, he still gets to move the full 4 squares and then charge. So like pieces that could generate like 1 square of water, I think there's a Tempest in this set that has like smoke cloud, free smoke cloud, but it generates water terrain instead. That would work so well with Aquaman here. It really worked well. His third trait is I don't talk to fish. His mind control is free. So this dude has a lot of free actions. I can see why he's 80 points now. They've compacted a lot into these traits. His mind control is free, with a range of 8 and triple targets, but only to target characters with the Dolphin team ability. And that's perfect. I mean, every Aquaman should have that, honestly. Like, it's perfect. I mean, it's the perfect way to symbolize that, honestly. Kudos to WizKids. That's good design right there. So charge, super strength, invulnerability, leadership. Then he gets sidestep, blades, and combat reflexes. Okay. And then he goes back to charge, super strength. It's kind of weird. Like, they started in his dial almost the same exact way, but then in the middle they're like, oh, he's mad. So now he's pulled out a knife and he's gonna gotcha. It's kind of weird. And somehow he's lost his defenses and now he's just moving around. It's kind of weird, but okay. You know, at least it's a dial that if you're on the first 2 clicks and you get hit pretty hard and you bounce on the last 2 clicks, it's the same exact dial, and you can rely on the consistency there. And that's one thing that I wish more dolls had, was consistency. So you know what, I'll take this Aquaman. He's just a rare. He's indomitable. He has 3 cool traits. I like it. Moving on to super rares. Honestly, a lot of the super rares I have no interest in, but I chose 3 characters. I chose 3 characters that I think I'm gonna like. One of which I honestly didn't really think. I mean, I have no interest in the character itself. It's Mr. Oz. He's Kryptonian cosmic scientist. Okay, cosmic is a pretty good keyword. But like the character, I mean, like what's so? I mean, like, who cares about it? It's Superman's dad, if you didn't know. The whole it's a weird storyline. I'm not even gonna get into it. But what he brings to the table for 40 points. I'm only going to be playing him at 40 points. I didn't even realize he had a 100-point click. I didn't even realize that. What does he even have for 100? Wait, okay, let me I thought he was just 40 points. It's that. Okay. For 100 points, you get stealth, telekinesis. What? Wait. No, wait. Wait. You only get that if he's 100 points? Oh, heck no. Intercept the projection is you only get that at 100 points. Really? Telekinesis. Whenever a character is placed by telekinesis after resolutions, you may place that character within 2 squares of the line of fire. You don't get that at 40 points. Well, I don't give a crap about this character anymore. That was what I was most interested in. Oh, no, it's the other way around. I'm right. I totally misread this. Okay, so this is one of the times where if you play him at 40 points, you just get the first 2 clicks. You don't get the lower point. You don't get the lower half of his dial. You just get the first 2 clicks. Yes, at 40 points, I like this dial. For 40 points, you get the first 2 clicks, which is stealth. He has telekinesis. When a friendly character is placed by telekinesis, after resolutions, you can place that character within 2 squares in line of fire of the current square. You get super senses, and you get probability control with a range value of 12. When Mr. Oz uses it, he can use improved targeting, ignores blocking, elevated, ignores characters. Okay, so for 40 points, I think this dude's nuts. Because he can hide in stealth, he can prob from 12 squares out, and he ignores blocking, elevated, and characters for that 12 range probability control. And then he has this telekinesis ability where he can use TK, which is always useful. Like I said earlier in this video, having TK is super useful. But he can also affect the TK of every other piece that uses it on the map. So if it's friendly characters, you can have a friendly character use TK. And then he can also affect his own TK, by the way. Him or a friendly character can use TK, and so TK somebody out 6 squares, and then on top of that, move them an extra 2, or place them an extra 2 squares out. So you can actually get an 8 range TK at that point, which is so nice. Also, he can affect the opposing character's TK. So your opposing character is going, okay, I'm going to TK him out 6 squares, and then he's going to, oh, wait, hold up. I get to move him back 2 squares now. They're like, what? Yeah, you're only getting a 4 range TK out of that, sir. What? That's bullcrap right there. I know, it is bullcrap right there. You pay the points for a 6 square TK, and you're only getting a 4 square TK. Well, you can thank Mr. Oz for that. He has a TV show. He sells stuff, healthy stuff. Thank you, Mr. Oz. I think it's a different person. Otherwise, I love it. For 40 points, I want this thing. Just for the first 2 clicks, I play him. I got confused for a second earlier, but I don't even care about the 100-point setting. I don't. And he can play someone within 6 squares and socket blast people for 4 damage. I mean, I guess he's not horrible. That second part of the dial. But what I really like him for is the disruptional of the 40-point setting, because I feel I see myself. This is like the 3-man. Like, this is like, what is that group? Larry, Curly, and Mo. The 3, Flip. You know what I'm trying to say. People know what I'm trying to say. Dang, I can't remember them. Mr. Oz, the Unseen, and the Skull. Those 3 people together are the 3 Stooges that is going to ruin every game I'm going to be playing this from this point forward. Seriously. They bring in so much disruption, so much I can see so far away. I'm gonna disrupt stuff from so far away. 40 points for Mr. Oz, 65 points for Unseen is 105 points. Then what? What is the Skull? He's another 40 points or 60? Is he 40? So I mean, you're talking about like 100 and like about 150 points for those 3 together, and just so much fun. This is so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah. It's going to be a part of my 400-point teams of just disruption going forward. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. A whole lot. I really like Mr. Oz. He's a lot of fun for 40 points. Let's move on. So I wanted to put down Black Manta because he has Suicide Squad keyword. He has some cool abilities, but he just really didn't fit the bill after I started looking at other pieces. So the next super rare I want to talk about is Starfire, number 55 in the set. She has Quintessence team ability. What the flip? That's pretty crazy. That means she can't be outwitted, and she also has willpower, which is pretty crazy. She also has Teen Titans team ability, so she may end up being like the powerhouse of the Teen Titans team. Oh no, wait, what? She has Titans. Oh, Titans team ability. Okay, I thought she just had Titans keyword. I was like, what? I was like, does not compute. What? Okay, now she has Teen Titans keyword. She also has Outlaws, which is whatever. Cosmic and Warrior. She has a Teen Titans trait that they all have, where they can be given a move action, then use the Teen Titans ability at no cost. Whoopee. She starts out with Hypersonic, with Energy Explosion, and she can use it during the hypersonic instead of a ranged attack, which is useful. You still have her range, so it go from a 7 range to a 4 range, but still you could hypersonic out like 5 squares, shoot Energy Explosion 4 squares off, and then hypersonic back 5 squares or 6 squares. She does have a stop click that has combat reflexes at the end of her dial. Before that, she has running shot, pulse wave. She's pretty strong. Hypersonic out, shoot 4 squares for 4 damage, or she can choose Energy Explosion, or she can just stay back and do 7 squares away for 4 damage. Her first click has shape change, because you're gonna look at her and go, oh wait, I gotta attack her. Okay, that's what that shape change is. If you don't know, it's the she does on her last click also have charge, flurry, force blast, and earthbound neutralized with the stop click. So she's pretty bad. I mean, not. She's pretty bad. You know what I mean? She's pretty mad at that last click. She's gonna hit you pretty hard. 4 damage flurry. But still, I like the dial. She brings a lot to the dial. She has a good mix of close combat and range combat type of stuff. She's 100 points or 50 points. I mean, 50 points, honestly, I think that's a great 50-point setting. Running shot, 11 pulse wave for 3 damage ESD. I think that's a great 50-point setting, especially with a stop click. It's a 50-point setting they do not want to damage you onto, because then you're going to charge flurry them for 4 damage, which is pretty nuts. For 100 points to get hypersonic 4 damage, I think she's gonna be a great super warrior. She's gonna be the Space Knight dude. I can't think of the Space Knight that had hypersonic. Ended up being used a lot because it's just a nice little hypersonic range piece from Avengers Infinity. It wasn't Starfire, but it was similar, wasn't it? I can't think of it. They all had like space names. Anyways, she's gonna be a strong super rare that if you pull her in sealed or something, she's going to bring in her point value pretty heavily. Dude, can I sum up this whole thing in an hour? This would be a fun hour video. Maybe this is a podcast. I don't really know. Is this a podcast or a video? You decide. Other people are summing up their thoughts in 10 minutes. I take an entire hour to do it. For the people that actually listen to this whole thing, I will mail you some cookies. Not really. Okay. The last super rare I want to talk about. Thank you, WizKids, for another Starfire. Thank you. I remember, before I go on to the last one, I remember they made a new Starfire back in the day, and I was so excited. And it was like the new 52 one, and she didn't have Teen Titans keyword. And I'm going, what? Yeah, what? She doesn't have Teen Titans keyword? Hey, but we got a new star. Oh, it was in the Streets of Gotham set, I think. I was like, hey, look, a new Starfire, finally! Because the last Starfire we had was a duo with Nightwing from the Crisis set. And I was like, a new Starfire, finally! It's like, oh, she doesn't have Teen Titans keyword. I'm like, anyways, this one does, so thank you so much, WizKids. So the last super rare I want to talk about, and I'm not totally in love with the doll, but it's a character I've been wanting for a while, and she has good keywords, and her doll is not absolutely horrible. But so I'm excited for Jessica Cruz. She is her and Simon Baz are like the 2 new super rares, the 2 new Green Lanterns. From like the Rebirth storyline. They've kind of been teaming up together, and then also they joined the Justice League together. She's 65 points. She has the Green Lantern team ability, which is always useful, and the Justice League team ability. Oh, look, her keywords are the Green Lantern Corps keyword and the Justice League keyword. So she brings the Green Lantern team ability to the Justice League, which is fun and good and useful, because the Elseworlds Green Lantern did the same exact thing. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of Justice League Green Lanterns, even though there were kind of, but not really. Okay, anyways, she has 6 range. She starts out with phasing. Okay, so that's her role right there, people. She's carrying people around. She is a taxi. She is a taxi and nothing but a taxi. She does have shape change, so she is a kind of a harder hit taxi. She does have telekinesis, which is the one saving grace, in my opinion, for her. If she didn't have telekinesis, I probably would not play her, in my honest opinion. She has telekinesis, and like I said, I've said it twice before in this video / podcast. You decide. Telekinesis is a power that every team really needs, and her having telekinesis is super useful. It's super useful. I'm happy that she has telekinesis. It means I don't have to play the magical girl from Batman the Animated Series, Zatanna. She only had telekinesis at the 75-point setting. She didn't have it at the 50-point setting. So now I can save 10 points and play Jessica Cruz, and also get a really good taxi in. I don't know. I may still play both. I don't know. Anyways, so she has telekinesis, but once per turn, when she carries a character and moves 5 or less squares, so like as that dude, I'm sorry, as Scott Porter said it, it's kind of like a running shot, kind of. After resolution, she can use telekinesis at no cost. So instead of making a ranged attack like running shot, she gets to use telekinesis at no cost. But she has to carry a piece at the same time. It's really weird. So if you carry a piece, let's say you have a tie-up piece, this could work. If you carry a tie-up piece, you carry them forward and then you TK them out and they tie up somebody. That's where it works. But if you carry somebody that wants to do something afterwards, you carry them up and then you TK them out. Because they were carried, they can't do anything but free actions at that point. So, yeah, it kind of is limited. Now, she could carry up, let's say you have a piece of probability control, because she doesn't have probability control. You could carry up the piece of probability control, then TK somebody behind her up forward 6. That could be useful, but it's still limited. It's still weird. It's a weird combination of things. If it meant she could be 60 points and just have regular old TK, I probably would just rather have that, in my honest opinion. Of course, she has lead in a charge, which is all the Justice League pieces have. They're kind of weird. If she makes the first attack during the turn it hits, all your other Justice League keywords can use sidestep. Oh, but how is she going to make the first attack? All she has is phasing. I don't know. I guess she could phase out 5 while carrying somebody and then throw an object at somebody with telekinesis. And that's how she would get the first attack that turn. Still, I maybe would put the Goblin Glider on her and give her a running shot. Then that's what's cool is, because it says when she carries a character and moves 5 squares or less, it doesn't have to be a move action. So if you give her the Goblin Glider and let her running shot out, which that wouldn't work either, because she would go from a 10 attack, a 10 movement to a 5 movement, but then when she's carrying somebody, oh, she can go 4. Okay, yeah, let her running shot out 4 squares and shoot somebody for 3 damage, and then TK somebody afterwards. That could work. So like as Scott Porter said, if this is running shot and she could do that, that'd be great. But it's not running shot, it's phasing. So you need to put the Goblin Glider on her. Give her a running shot. She's indomitable, which is very useful, and what all Green Lanterns should always have at all points in history, but they don't always do. The shape change is nice. The free choose a character within range of line of fire. That character can't use Battle Fury. I mean, it has use, maybe, sometimes, maybe, I don't know. I mean, this 65-point Dow is kind of weird. And then after she gets hit for any amount of damage, she bounces on to Force Blast, Range Combat Expert, Super Senses. I mean, she has 6 range, so she could range combat expert up a little bit, but they do this stupid thing, and I hate it so bad. They're like, oh, we're going to give her a perplex or a range combat expert, and then we're going to give her a 9 attack, because she's going to have to put 1 point into her attack to have a 10 attack so she can hit anybody. That's stupid design. It's like, why does she have 9 attacks? What are they with 9 attacks? 9 attacks are horrible. 9 attacks need to be retired. 9 attacks need to be on just like reporters that are like 10 points. 9 attacks are bad, and they give her 2 clicks and 9 attack with range combat expert, knowing full well people are going to be like, well, if I want to hit anything, I probably got to put it both into attack, and then I have 2 damage, so that means I can't get past invulnerability or invincible or impervious. Well, crap. Yeah, it's exactly the logic there, you know. Or you have some kind of perplex from somebody else that can bump her up to a 10 attack. Then you go 1 and 1 and have like an 11 for 3. Then she's like halfway okay. But again, Goblin Glider, that could be useful. She could run and shut out, hit for 2 next turn. She has Indomitable, use Range Combat Expert, hit for a little bit more. Goblin Glider sums her up. Still though, I'm excited to have a new Jessica Cruz. I'm excited she brings something kind of different to the Justice League. Another Green Lantern Corps team ability piece, even though the Green Lanterns can't carry other Green Lanterns because, I don't know. When I first started playing the game, my favorite superhero was Green Lantern. It still is my favorite superhero. And I was like, hey, I'm going to play a whole bunch of Green Lanterns together. And guess what? They can carry 8 people. And guess what? They can't carry each other, though, because they're all flying. I mean, seriously. Who designed that team ability? Who designed that team ability? I'm going to say it again. Who designed that team ability? Green Lanterns cannot carry Green Lanterns because they're flying. They need to change it. Also, Jessica Cruz cannot carry Superman, cannot carry a flying Wonder Woman, cannot carry blah blah blah, because they're flying. It makes no flippant sense. Have you seen the cartoon? She just puts a barrier around everybody and takes them all up into space. Well, not Jessica Cruz, but, you know, Green Lantern in general. They need to change the Green Lantern name ability to be Passenger 8 ignores flight. Symbol. That's exactly what it needs to be. That's exactly what it needs to be. So, otherwise, I'm excited for Jessica Cruz. I'm excited for another Justice League piece. I don't think she'll be that expensive on the secondary market, so I should be able to pick her up pretty easily. She is a super rare Green Lantern, and for all my years of collecting Green Lanterns, super rare and chase Green Lanterns are always more expensive than all the other ones because it's a lantern, it's expensive. Like the White Lantern chases, like the Blue Lantern chase, Black Lantern chases, like the Green Lantern Batman, White Lantern Batman, Yellow Lantern Batman, Black Lantern Batman. God, don't get me started on all the Batmans. Anyways, I'm excited for her. I want to get her. Jessica Cruz is pretty cool. She had a lot of cool storyline about, you know, because just to go into a tangent for a second. So, you know, the CSA, or like the bad versions of the Justice League. Well, the bad Green Lantern, Power Ring, he had his ring, Volthoom, was in his ring, which Volthoom is from this storyline. It's from like way back in the Green Lantern thing, and he's like the original. It's stupid. Anyways, when Power Ring died, Jessica Cruz got his ring. Even though she's from the regular universe, she got his ring. And like Volthoom like abused the heck out of her. And she had to like learn to overcome him and grow as a person. And so she's a really cool character. She's a really cool character, actually. So yeah, I'm excited for her. That's all the super rares. Let's get to the chases. I'm gonna sum this up really good. I don't give a crap about the chases. I don't really. And Dark Knight's keyword they're never going to make again. They're all overcosted. They don't have Batman family keyword. They don't, you know, I can't use them for any of my teams. They don't have Justice League keyword. The Dawnbreaker has Green Lantern Corps keyword. Of course. He's going to be the more expensive one too anyways. Whatever. I don't care about the chases. That is the set, everybody. It's been an hour, 2 minutes. This video is super long. Thank you so much for listening to this things. I don't think the chases are worth it anyways. I'm excited for DC Rebirth. Those are the 12 pieces in the set. I guess I don't care about any of the chases that I was interested in. There are a few more. I think this set is a very cool Teen Titans set that was somehow turned into a DC Rebirth set by WizKids somehow at some point in the creation. I kind of wish there was no JSA pieces in the set. I kind of wish there was no Justice League pieces in the set. I kind of wish there wasn't some of this other stuff and it was just pure Teen Titans, because I would love a new, there's so many Teen Titans. Hey look, a new Static Shock with the actual keyword of Teen Titans would be awesome. Anyways, I think the set's going to be cool. I don't think it's going to be too expensive on the secondary market. I think the Black Panther set's going to be nuts. Thank you so much. If you stuck through this whole thing, I'm just gonna reach through your monitor. I'm reaching through the internet. My hand is digitizing and it's going through the internet, and it is reaching over through your monitor and giving you a fist bump. Thank you so much for putting up with my stupid voice and all my stupid opinions and listening to this video and learning about the pieces I am excited about in this set. Because there are a lot of pieces in this set I'm excited about. Most are Teen Titans, the other half are Justice League and JSA. And then you have Mr. Oz, which is just fun disruption. Thank you so much for listening to this and watching this video. I hope you have a lot of fun playing DC Rebirth going forward. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.